Namaskara, I'm your Samir Inamda. So, we are talking about noise pollution today. So, what is noise pollution? Normally, noise pollution is been derived from a Latin word named nausea, all right? So, which means it is sickness. So, we're going to talk about noise pollution today. So, you all know what is noise pollution. And there's a lot of things which we need to understand why we are talking this particular subject today. All right, so let's go ahead and let me tell you what are the contents in this particular video, what we are doing today here, what we are covering here. First of all, how many types of noise pollutions are there? So the second part, the causes and the source of noise pollution. So the third part is noise pollution examples. So we're going to speak about examples as well. We're going to talk about effects and the impacts what it actually gives on a human health. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about the prevention. What are the steps to prevent the noise pollution? So first of all, the types of noise pollution is what we were talking about. So there are three kinds of things what I understand right now. So there are many other things as well which adds up to this particular issue what we're facing today. So the major part is transport noise. So the vehicular movement, what happens on the road, it actually creates a nuisance by giving out a noise pollution. So types of noise pollutions what we are discussing. There are other part of things which adds on to noise pollution is the neighborhood noise. All right, like there are many neighborhood which makes noise, due to different activities what they face in daily life. So the third part, what we are talking about, industries. So industries also make a lot of noise. So these things has to be taken very seriously, and this has to be addressed as soon as possible. So let's speak about this more and understand what is exactly the transport noise what we're talking about. So the transport noise is nothing but the vehicular movement, as I earlier mentioned. So the vehicle makes a lot of noise. When there is a moment, if the vehicle is not properly serviced, there's a lot of sound which comes out of the vehicle. So the one part is that, and the second part is about honking your horns. So that is also a very big issue what we are facing today. So I'll talk about that particular issue in a different video, but before that, let's understand what exactly are the problems on noise pollution we're facing on a daily life, and also understand how can we mitigate this particular noise pollution. So again, the neighborhood noise, as I mentioned, the noise from gadgets, households like televisions can make effects. The sound bars what you are present today, that can make a sound pollution. There's also a lot many other things what we can discuss when we're talking about noise pollution. As I said, people keep loud music on their desk. There are pubs, lot many things which we can discuss on this particular part. The other part is the industrial noise which comes out of industries. So industries also contribute a lot to the noise pollution on today's life. So how is industry actually making noise pollution? It is because of the high intensity, and the machines are not serviced properly. So there are a lot many things which adds on. There are a lot many things which needs to be implemented in order to run a particular industry. So as we go further, let's speak about the causes and source of noise pollution today. So these are the following causes and sources of noise pollution what we are going to discuss here. So one part is, I'll read it for you. Industrialization. So let me, I have made points here. This letter is completely done on my research and development. So I'm going to read out what exactly we're facing here. So one part is industrialization. Industrialization has led to an increase in noise pollution as the use of heavy machinery such as generators, mills, huge exhaust fans are used, which are obviously resulting in the noise pollution. So other part, as I mentioned earlier, vehicles. So increased number of vehicles. So every day there are people who are buying cars. Every day there are people buying bikes, machineries. So on a everyday basis, noise pollution is going to increase and it will never decrease if we go on the same path. So let's understand this subject very efficiently to mitigate or to stop or to control the noise pollution. All right, let's speak more about it further. As I have mentioned, events, if there is any event going on in your neighborhood, it can add a lot to noise pollution. And you understand, right? Like DJs, parties, a loud music going on. There are a lot many things which adds on to the noise pollution here. So again, there are weddings and all those parts. There are a lot many events which adds on to it. I don't want to get into depth because it may come to a communal points as well. So let's solve our daily problems and try to live in a peaceful society or a sustainable society. So let's talk more about it here. So what are the effects of noise pollution as a human health, right? If we consider as a human health, uh, in increase of noise pollution, when someone honks, okay, so you have a capacity to hear, all right. So it is again, it is calculated in decibels. So let me also talk about the decibel levels. What are the proper decibel levels which are required on residential, commercial and industrial places? So that is again a different subject. This is a very huge subject what we are talking here today. So honking, well, I'm coughing, right? So you may understand this is because you are exposed to the dust which are on the road. So that is one more different subject. We are going to discuss on that on a different video. But let's talk about noise pollution again. So what are the effects which is harming the human health? So like if there is, in a continuous way, if we are listening to this particular decibel levels, like horn, a lot of noise pollution which adds on to everyday's life. So if we are constantly hearing about this part, you may come in a very close contact where you can actually lose your hearing power. You have eardrums inside your ears, as you all guys know. So we are going to speak more about it. This is a very huge subject, guys, and I don't know if I can cover it in just one particular video, because there are a lot many things which we have to discuss. There are many people we need to discuss this with, and we need to come out with some kind of solution. So on a public life, why I am going ahead and conveying this part is, as a public, can we be responsible? That is my question. If not completely, at least some part of it, right? We can add up some part of our civic sense to the society. So let's speak more about noise pollution here. Again, well, there can be a hearing loss, there can be a hypertension, okay, there could be sleep disorders. There are like people I know who cannot sleep because of the traffic sound. So not only that, even it actually affects your heart. You should be shocked, right? That is the truth. We can definitely speak to experts on this part. I will do a different video on that again. But again, let's come back to the topic here, which is noise pollution. As I elaborated about what are the effects which can be faced by a human health, what it can actually face, what we can face on our everyday's life. So how can we prevent this? There are a few points which we can actually follow in our daily life, which are like not honking. Honking is very bad behavior, guys. It is not available in lot other countries what we see. Okay, in European countries, if you honk, people think that you are on a different level. All right, so it's only in India and few countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. There are only few countries which actually honk so much and adds to the noise pollution today. So we'll need to control on that part. We'll need to use low beam and high beam when you're crossing by instead of using horn. Like again, as I would like to add, there are different kinds of horns what people use in their daily life. Which are really hard. Okay, there's shrill horns. The shrill horns will definitely affect your ears. It will affect the old age. It will affect the childhood people. The children's what we have. Children what we have here, they are facing this problem today. So guys, this is a very big impact. Okay, so let's understand and control ourselves by not honking. Honk only when it is required and honk only once, right? So we need to stop honking in public places, like most of the places, like sensitive places, you'll need to definitely avoid honking. Some of those examples are like teaching institutions, hospitals. uh, you know Hospitals are very effective places where people are healed, right? If you honk right in front of the hospitals, it's really a big problem. There are many patients inside the hospital, so they will face lot many problems. So please guys, you will need to understand as well, while I am saying or talking about this particular part, we'll need to involve all these parts in our daily life and make sure that we don't honk, right? So let's take that pledge that we will not honk unnecessarily. Let's honk once if it is actually required. Let's take this pledge. And other parts, let's discuss about more parts here. How can we prevent, again, as I said? So in commercial and hospital and industrial buildings, we need to use adequate technology, or the soundproofing technology, what we call. It has to be installed, because if you use soundproofing system or the technology, you can avoid a lot of noise from your neighborhood. So when there is any commercial institutions, I would kindly request you guys, please make sure you use the soundproof technology in your business place. And let's talk more about the prevention here. Even trees actually plays very important role when we are talking about noise pollution. When you plant a tree, I'm talking about tree, okay, not the plant is a small plant. I'm talking about a tree, a huge tree. Even that adds up while preventing the noise pollution. In construction sites, you can use more of advanced technologies where you can reduce noise. Use mattings. You'll need to use mattings in industrial places where you can control your equipments to reduce the sound. Also use adequate technology where a lot can be actually solved, people, and I think with all your support we can do it. So there is technology, there are people who can solve it. You just have to make sure that you make your willingness, right? So again, I urge people to use horn or honking, what we call, only when it is required, and please don't unnecessarily honk in public places. This was a small or the brief information what I gave you about noise pollution. Hope everyone will understand and implement the solutions, at the same time also be responsible towards your nation. Thank you very much. I'm your Samir Inamda. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.